How you doing? I'm David Sancheesi, and I'm here to talk about the news of the day. I want to talk about the corruption going on in our government and in the justice system. I will have an article here about President Trump and how the CFO of Trump Enterprises is about to be indicted. This is from yesterday, and today he turned himself in. So I want to talk about the crazy stuff that the Democrats, the deep state, are doing to go after President Trump. They've thrown everything, and including the kitchen sink at him, and they still can't get him. Yet anyone associated with him, they're going after them for garbage crimes, just as they got the CFO of the Trump Organization. Breaking: New York DOJ to indict Trump CFO and the Trump Organization tomorrow on garbage charges. As I said, this is from yesterday. Continued assault on President Trump and anyone around him. The corrupt DOJ and their gang of attorneys in New York have spent over 5 years or more searching for crimes related to President Trump and his family and associates. They spent millions before his election and throughout his entire term to come up with any crime they could make up regarding the President of the United States. To this day, they still have nothing. Now remember, in the United States of America, you have to find the crime and then you investigate the crime. But here, it's so obvious they're just investigating the man and anyone they can find around him so they can indict them and try to get them to spill the beans on something they may have on President Trump. If you look at the charges that the CFO turned himself in, is just ridiculous. Now it looks like the corrupt DOJ will go back to the same game of tricks they used to indict Paul Manafort to indict Trump CFO. The Trump team members will be indicted this week by far-left and corrupt gang of attorneys led by the Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance. I got some stuff to say about Cyrus Vance and how disgusting this man is, but I want to get into the CFO first. Trump CFO turns himself in today in the head of charges, expected criminal charges. Alan Weisselberg, the chief financial officer who oversaw day-to-day management of the Trump Organization while Donald Trump was in the White House, surrendered himself to authorities at a New York City courthouse Thursday morning. The move comes ahead of expected criminal charges against Weisselberg and Trump's family business later in the day. In a statement on Thursday, Weisselberg's personal lawyer, Maury Mulligan, wrote that he intends to plead not guilty and he will fight these charges in court. The charges are the first in a wide-ranging 3-year investigation into possible fraud by Trump, his company, and his associates. Weisselberg, a 4-decade employee of the Trump Organization, was involved in nearly all financial decisions and is understood to be a linchpin in a possible case against Trump, and is why they're going after him. Because they obviously cannot find anything against President Trump, so they want to get someone who is closely associated with him, bring them up on trumped up charges, pardon the pun, and then try to get him to fold and possibly rat out President Trump for more BS crimes because they have nothing. It's disgusting what they're doing. The CFO is expected to face criminal charges of paying employees off the books to avoid taxes. Among the benefits the Trump Organization is said to have paid for are cars, apartments, and private school tuition. I elaborated on this a little bit the other day. And here they are. They're going after the Trump Organization because they gave people apartments, they gave them cars, and they paid for their private school tuition. Not heinous crimes, mind you. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be held accountable for this stuff, but to go after the former president and his corporations for this, when people in New York City and New York alone are committing far more heinous crimes. In fact, Cy Vance is on the record saying he will not prosecute nonviolent crimes. Just a question. Where is the violence in people getting free gifts? Where's the violence in paying for people's tuition? Where's the violence in giving people apartments? I don't see violence in that. I did see violence, though, in 2020 as Antifa, Black Lives Matter, burned down cities, assaulted police, committed heinous crimes, yet Cy Vance refuses to prosecute them. Right here. Crooked Manhattan DA Cy Vance refuses to prosecute protest-related arrests in the interest of justice. Cy Vance on Friday announced the DA's office will not prosecute protest-related arrests in the interest of justice. So let's say they're going after Trump because of financial crimes. They call, it's money related, right? It's arrest related to monetary value, right? They gave out free gifts. They gave out apartments. They gave out cars. Money, monetary related by most people's standards. But these people burnt down buildings. They destroyed businesses in the millions of dollars. Is that not monetary related also? So why is it crooked DA Cyrus Vance will go after Trump's people, but let people who destroyed a whole city, destroyed businesses, ruin people's lives, hurt police officers, but they walk free? If you don't see what's going on in the United States of America, you're blind by hatred. I'm not asking you to like Trump. I'm not asking you to like people connected to Trump. But please, this is the United States of America. We don't do this, or we're not supposed to do this. Obviously, it's happening. We're going after people based on political interests. This is what happens in Venezuela. This is what happens in China. This doesn't happen in the United States, but it is happening. And when are we, the people, going to say, stop, enough is enough? We are letting a small group of people in this country, the elites, dictate crimes based on political interests. This has got to stop. We have to start sticking up to these people and tell them enough is enough. I don't know how we go about doing this, but we have to have people who we elect in office. And this is why we have to get our America First people in, because we cannot continue to allow people who were prosecuted on January 6th while we see police waving people in, and these people who were in Antifa BLM continually destroying whole cities, and they're just getting charges dropped on them. If we were doing everything down the line by the book, I'd say, well, you commit a crime, you gotta pay the price. But this is not what's happening. Based on your ideology, you're either being prosecuted or not prosecuted. And we cannot allow this to happen in the United States of America. Cy Vance has been working around the clock to get his hands on President Trump's tax records, but he will not prosecute violent rioters in the city. That's just what I talked about. New Yorkers against the lockdown were not extended the same break from the DA's office. I remember they were just opening up the prison system in New York and letting violent criminals out. They were letting anyone out because they were using COVID as an excuse to open up the prison system. Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance announced today the DA's office regarding arrests on charges of unlawful assembly and disorderly conduct during ongoing demonstrations against the use of excessive force and killing of George Floyd. Previously, the DA's office policy was to offer individuals charged with these low-level offenses an adjournment in contemplation of dismissal, meaning their cases would be dismissed within 6 months. Under the new policy, the DA's office declined to prosecute these arrests in the interest of justice. The office will also continue to evaluate and decline to prosecute other protest-related charges where appropriate. So, in other words, all the people that were arrested during the riots will now walk free. But yet we have, as I said, right here, the CFO is expected to face criminal charges of paying employees off the books and avoiding taxes. This is the best they can do. These crooked pieces of human garbage, because that's what they are going after the president because they know what's coming out in the audits. This is all audit related. So they can continue to climb the ladder until they can get to President Trump. This is where we are in America. Political prosecution and political prisoners. Sad. But I just want to fill you in on this. We have to get focused on this, people. We cannot continue to allow this kind of stuff to happen in the United States. We have to rise up and fight this stuff tooth and nail. We are in fifth dimensional warfare. They are in a fight for our minds, for our thoughts. And right now they're winning. They're arresting people based off of political ideology. Anyway, God bless America. God bless all of you for watching. And God bless our president, Donald J. Trump, was constantly under attack from the left, the deep state. They can't seem to find a real crime. So they're going after what they say they don't want to prosecute, non-violent crimes. But I guess if you work for Trump, you will be the focus and arrested for non-violent crimes. Disgusting. Anyway, thanks for watching.